Here we go.
Button is pushed on episode 27, series 2 of Ladies Wot Pod, talking things saintly and other nonsense about rugby locally. And I am Liz Saunders, chairman of the Saint Supporters Club, general rugby nose and busybody, chief halo, mother of two small boys who didn't get to play rugby this weekend, so came instead to Granny's house for a roast dinner. Well, actually, as well as they'd have come anyway. But yes, so they were very lively yesterday. So if I look tired today, that's why. And you are?
I am Claire Jones. I am the proud owner of a red hat, which I was very grateful for on Saturday in that wind. More of that shortly. I live on the edge of the Fens in Cambridgeshire, and it's grey today. Grey day. And I'm one of the club photographers at Northampton Saints, Bedford Blues. And a team we need to talk about first. Loughborough Lightning.
Luga Lightning. Yes, so breaking news this morning is that Darling Daisy, our captain, has signed a multi-year deal. So can I just, where is she? Just point her out that way. Fall off
the... There she is there, and this is there you go. Signs a new deal. The lovely, wonderful Captain Fantastic Daisy Hibbert.
Yeah. Absolutely top girl. She is absolutely cracking young lady. Friend of the pod. She's just lovely, and I just think for going forward for helping the squad settle is really, really good news that she's there. She brings so much to anywhere she works. The community team was saying they miss her. Now she's at Moulton, so well done, Dave.
Yeah, and the comments from Nathan about her binding the team from the senior, pros through to the youngsters coming through in the pathway program is just brilliant. So well done, Daisy. We're very happy campers here on Ladies Wot Pod.
We are. She's such a lovely, lovely young lady. She's really personable, really, really caring as well. As I can see why she'd be bothered about everybody in the squad. She's just lovely. Well done, Daisy.
Well done, Daisy. So that was great news to start.
Great news to start. So
shall we go chronological?
Well, sort of, but we always go off track. But we'll start off with a plan.
We'll make a game attempt.
We'll go back to last week when we went to training.
We did go to training.
It was a strange format for training, wasn't it? It was
cold. So we played Scarlets on the Sunday, and we were at training on the Tuesday, and they were doing a sort of funny mix of running around, and then the forwards went off to do strange things with Jason Civil and Ben Rhodes and co. And the backs were backs basically, but it was a lovely day, and so we were wandering around in the sunshine, and there was much hurtling about the place, and as it turned out, we didn't realise that we were seeing something in particular that happened in the game on Saturday. We kind of guessed that it might do, which was Josh Kemeny scoring from the wing. So that was part of what they practiced. Liz and I aren't great, I'm not great. Liz might recognise it. We don't always necessarily recognise the patterns that we're about to see in the game, but that one, it kind of stood out. But there was much running around, there was much shouting, and there was much wind, which was very helpful given what happened on Saturday.
There seemed to be much target practice, I felt.
Yes, the Ladies Wot Pod are now the...
I felt picked upon. I did feel picked upon.
Yeah, we're now the target for any of the kickers, which seems a bit harsh, given our support.
Yeah.
We did...
Given our age, that we can't move rapidly out of the way,
either. No, our age, no. And I was sat in a fishing stall on one occasion. What I would say is we did...
Looking at you, Edo.
We did, actually, It's more when the forwards are practicing kicking off a tee that I start to get really worried.
Well, they're not aiming at us though. That's just
that's just randomly coming in our direction.
We'd be safe if they were aiming at us.
Yes, because it would go every which way. We did mention to the winner, last week's winner of the Ladies Wot Pod, player of the match, that he'd won, and bless him, he was overjoyed.
You seem very chuffed. We did point out you get nothing but our love and affection for a week.
And that was enough for Manny Iogan, so we love him all the more.
It didn't even that didn't scare him, so that was good.
Yes. We will have a Ladies Wot Pod. We didn't talk about that. We need to have a conversation about it. I mean, I have a very strong view, which I did talk to my IT department about in the remarkably quick journey back from Salford on Saturday evening.
Well, that'd be interesting because I've got one or two ideas myself. But anyway, we will more of that later.
More of that later. So training was busy, but the different structure from what we normally see, and it's not surprising given that they'd only played on the Sunday. Yeah.
So, and they were travelling up to Manchester on the Friday.
Yeah.
So that was why they'd almost lost 2 days, really, hadn't they?
Yeah, it was a funny week. It was a funny week.
So yes.
But then we did see the man who was at Chinner.
We did see him,
and then you saw him again.
I saw him again because I didn't go up to Sale and went instead to Bedford to support Bedford against Coventry because I just love these traditional fixtures that Bedford have, and went to watch Bedford versus Cov, and it was a tough old game. The Coventry didn't give an inch really, and Bedford, well, they'd lost the Saints under-20s that play for them. So Sonny Tonga and Johnny Weeman, they weren't available. That affects the balance, but they played well. They stuck at it. But Finn, you say about Josh Kemney being out on the wing, Finn Brown out on the wing, trundles in, galloped in for a try.
The footage, galloped. There was a gallop going on.
There was definitely a gallop, which you've got to do when you've been tarted out on the wing as a back row, if you don't mind me saying, Finn Brown. But great try. I was really pleased for him, and I think he was very pleased, very chuffed for himself. I think, quite rightly so. So Bedford came out winners 38-31 in the end. But it was a bit touch and go. Coventry going for that try to tie the game. As it was, they went away with try bonus points. Is what they would have got. But Bedford secured all 5, and they had a new scoreboard because the old scoreboard got broken, and so they had a new scoreboard.
And poor old Sherpa 2 ended up in a cupboard as a result. He wasn't.
He did end up in a cupboard. Yeah, so he couldn't even have us as his trauma support animals in front of him.
No, and he must have been going through... Actually, my IT department was saying, the language in the first half must have been something special.
Yeah. I think it probably was. Big, oh dear, yeah.
The air was blue in his cupboard. Because I did get a photograph saying, "Where are you?" Yes. I've just had a photo from Liz saying, "Where Sherpa 2 should be, you're not." And he sent me a picture of the cupboard. Nice view, but a cupboard nonetheless. And it was 7-all, and it was 7-all at that time.
At that point, yeah, and it was quite useful where we were sitting because Radio Coventry and Warwickshire, my old friend Richard Moon, was doing the commentary from the end of the press bench, and so we got a running commentary, which was quite useful because I didn't know who any of the Cov players were, so that was quite helpful.
Well, you knew one of them.
I knew, yes, young Ewan Baker was there, so it was good.
Yeah,
had his moments. Former Saint, and it was some awful bits and some really good bits of rugby. And Fred Tuolangi, really makes such a difference to that team, I have to say.
Massive difference. Massive difference. He's a quality player. Yeah, quality
absolutely.
Player. But there's been a lot going on in the champ, hasn't there?
Well, there has. So I was going to say, well done, Bedford. 5 points. Couldn't ask for more, really.
Second in the league.
Yeah. But there has been lots going on. So in the week, Doncaster Knights announced they were going part-time. So they've been, which is a bit of a shame because you felt they had ambitions that now can't. And you feel for the players as well. So
yes, because those players who are on a 1 year +1 have been told they're not having the +1. Then they will all be leaving at the end of the season. So yeah, it's big change. Yeah. It's not been that's the second season where they haven't really got going.
No.
Yeah.
They should have done.
And should have done. It's obviously a period of change in the champ because Coventry, Nick Johnson left at the beginning of the season, early in the season. So their owner, I don't know what's happening with their plans for the development of, was it Butts Park Arena?
That's an ambition. That name is doing some heavy lifting. That's
actually, we didn't talk about. Yes, that name is. Yeah, we didn't talk about Cornish Pirates, and shout out to their CEO Sue. Oh, I'm not going to remember her name, but she has had a pile on her plate to deal with because after the recent storm, the main stand suffered. We did talk about the fact that some of the advertising ended out at sea. Will be seen somewhere on the South American coast in a few months' time. But anyway, they had to make the decision to move the match against Anthill to Camborne. And so she's had a huge amount on her plate. So lots of love to her because Cornish Pirates, fabulous. The Menai is a great. If you're ever in Cornwall and it's during the rugby season, go. Well, at the moment you wouldn't be able to, but hopefully they can get things fixed in the next few weeks. It is definitely worth a trip because it is one of the traditional.
We didn't play at the Menai. We played them at Camborne.
Yes, all those years ago. Yeah, but their permanent home appears to be the Menai, and the plan is to develop the Menai. I think they're now developing it in a way that they hadn't quite anticipated.
They hadn't planned demolition first.
There's always been talk of this stadium, this Cornwall.
Oh yeah, it's earmarked. It's earmarked. As you drive in, there's this site that with very faded billboards.
Yes.
Saying that, this
I
is
think
the home
that's still the plan, but whether it happens or not, I don't know. Anyway, shout out to Cornish Pirates. We love Cornish Pirates. Camborne, of course, is
Sam Matavesi,
the Matavesi brothers club. So well done to Camborne for the rugby family looking after a club in difficulty.
In need.
Well done to all concerned. Sorry, I've completely forgot what we were talking about that. But yes, so the champ.
Yes.
The champ is.
Can I just say, shout out chili and chips up to standard. Taylor's Kitchen. There you go.
Yeah, Taylor's Kitchen do it again. They got very excited.
I don't know why I tell them because actually more people will go. And then there might not be enough for me.
I'm sure as your loyal support, Liz, I am sure that Taylor's Kitchen will always make sure that the Saunders family get their chili and chips before any Bedford Blues game.
Don't know. I wouldn't. Not asking for preferential treatment because the curry sauce and chips is nice. Anyway,
but it's not chili and chips, is it?
It's not chili and chips. No.
Chili and chips. So well done to Bedford Blues. Well done to everybody concerned. And we were all keeping an eye on what was going on in the frozen north.
I was making sure you kept an eye. Here we go. Score update.
Yes, it was very good. Thank you. No, it was good. It was good because I was relaying to various people what was occurring. But
Worcester. What happened? Worcester.
What is going on?
Yeah. So you can buy as many players as you like, and if you don't function as a team, it ain't going to work. So Worcester, having upset quite a few of the other champ teams by nicking players, lost again.
Red Bulls look on is all I can say. Red Bulls look on.
Yeah. So
So and TNT, it seriously, you lot, it is not unusual for champ players to appear in the Premiership. Was it Crane? It was Will Crane.
Will Crane.
Yeah,
the
was playing hooker for Gloucester. Yeah. Well done, Will. Top work. That was a dramatic game. Gloucester should have won.
Gloucester should have won that. What? I mean, some of the refereeing decisions on that were absolutely abysmal. I thought.
Finn Russell's try was offside by a country mile. I mean, what was going on there? Just rubbish.
Yeah. But my heart went out to Gloucester for that.
Because they played some absolutely brilliant rugby. Seb Atkinson is class.
Class.
Absolute class. Yeah, he was playing his best game. Really, really. And Charlie Atkinson
and Will Crane, the finance manager. Finance.
The point I was making is there's a lot of players who play in the champ who also play in the Premiership. There are a lot of dual registered players, and we illustrate that. So it is not unusual that you've got players who are. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. So, so that was earlier Saturday, and it was to say, I did see some familiar faces down at Bedford, some Saints supporters if ever you can't get to where Saints are playing and Bedford are on a different time, pop along. You'll not be disappointed. It's a real bridge between grassroots rugby and professional rugby. Great fun, and and some good standard of rugby breaks out from time to time.
Standard of rugby. Yeah, and a really good value afternoon out, and chili and chips.
And chili and chips.
But don't eat all of it before Liz has had hers.
No, I might turn feral.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to see that. So anyway. We hurtled away from Bedford. Didn't stop. My old mate Richard, I goes, bye, going now. Never, because he was still on air, couldn't speak. Hurtled away from Bedford so we could get home for my IT department to watch the game. For me to clean the kitchen and the bathroom, because I can't watch. It's too stressful. So
your heart rate monitor would have been busy. It would have been busy.
I'll tell you, my kitchen was polished to the nth degree. What is going on?
It was a 5:30 kickoff, and my shout out is to the travelling support. We talked about after COVID, there weren't many supporters travelling. My lord, so after the game, and we'll talk about the game. Sam Vesti walked with me to thank the supporters at the far end of, I don't know which way round the ground is, but he was going, wow, you could hear them. He was, he was so impressed, and you could hear you. The Shoe Army song, Come You Saints, it was just immense. Oh, hello, is there a delivery? Is there a delivery? The coffee's arrived. Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Nice flowery mug, very nice.
Different mug.
Different mug. Yeah, very good. So congratulations, guys. You could hear you. Also, it was like a soup kitchen queue to come and talk to me.
You met lots of people, didn't you?
Lots of people. Chris Hoddle and his biscuits, which were safely delivered to Douse. And lots of mums and dads, some of whom had not been to, I nearly said the AJ Bell. It's not Old Salford Community Stadium. It's the CorpAcq Stadium now. This week's name. It's still Well, as I said to Jacko Pinar at training, think Russian steppe, only bleaker. It lived up to my description. Oh, my Lord.
Motorway wasteland.
Motorway wasteland with a sewage works around the corner. But the wind was in the right directions for us all.
Oh, that's good.
What a blessed relief. We'll talk about the wind in a minute. So I had a steady stream of mums and dads, some of whom I met for the first time. Some of whom didn't remember meeting me, but there you go. As I said, I made an impression.
A lot's happened.
Which another mum said, happened. Well, a lot's happened since.
A lot's happened, to be fair, to that boy, yeah.
To that particular boy. So it was lovely to see all the mums and dads. It was lovely to see all the supporters. And I had a visit from little George again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the entire family were there enjoying the game.
You all.
Yes. And it was lovely to see you. And I got a big hug from little George. Very sweet. Very sweet. So well done. And then there was one particular person in the crowd who was pointed out to me by a very nice gentleman who said, "Look," he said, and it was Barry Oldham, as you call him, Liz.
Well, I don't actually call him Doris, and this comes. He was with a mutual friend going along our row, and to get to his seat, and Matt said to me, "Don't you interfere with my Doris." And I said, "I've no intention of interfering with anybody's Doris, if that's all right with you."
So Barry Oldham, legend, Saints legend, made his debut in 1964. Yes.
Wow.
Wow. Saint 1322, played 337 times with Saints, and those of you who've seen the picture that I posted on the Saints Supporters Club Facebook, he's looking good. I hope I look like that at his age. Wow. But it was lovely to see him. And of course,
clean living. It'll be clean living that's done it.
Yes, rugby players and clean living. And of course, we also had, with Graham, we had Christian Day, who was celebrating Blackpool beating Cobblers 2-0. And Phil Pask was there as well, assisting on commentary. So
is it too far north for Lenny? Is it? Does Lenny get a nosebleed?
Yeah, I think Lenny was going to get a nosebleed if he went that far north. But yeah, so Lenny wasn't there. So the game.
Oh, the game.
Oh, the game.
Since I've watched it. Well, I think first and foremost, the physicality that the Sharks brought. Physicality that ended up with Josh Kemney with a smashed face and Tony going off with an HIA. I just leave that there because
there was and don't forget what happened at the end of the second half. I'll just put this here.
Yeah.
Now
it's going to be one
there
of
are many things about this photo. So Henry, unsurprisingly, did not take kindly for them twice trying to rip his head off. He was not a happy camper, and I'm not surprised he wasn't a happy camper. The most surprising thing, and Rob Dupria coming back for another go. So it was nonsense. But the most surprising thing about this photograph is, and happy birthday to Danilo, is the Peacemaker. This is not what we expect of our Italian prop. Yes, but so it was. They clearly had a plan.
That look on his face of I don't really know what I'm doing. This is
I'm not used to this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
My comfort zone, but I'll put my hands out and go. Okay,
I think
okay.
I think this is what Dingers and Callum do. I'll see how it goes. Yes. Yeah. So that's Henry was clearly incensed, and he was right to be incensed because we always said this second season they were going to target him, but there's targeting, and then there's it was just out of order.
And given everything that has happened to Henry this season in being targeted, of the French and everybody has had to go, there must have been something really for him to be that fed up. And Hutch leaping to his...
Hutch was absolutely incandescent. I've never seen Hutch lose it the way he did. Yes, and we will talk more about that incident at the end when we talk about the
later. Yeah,
but so that they clearly had a game plan, which was we're going to rough up the back row. We're going to rough up. I don't think you can rough up JJ. It'd be an entirely pointless exercise.
I don't even know where you'd start, to be honest.
Well, rough up his ankles or something.
You'd insult his dogs, maybe. I don't think it's
no. And then the other person they targeted was Anthony, who, in the end had to go off an HIA. It was quite clear that they had a plan. They couldn't actually rough up Mitch because he was too quick for them.
Yes. If they could have caught him, they might have had to go.
Yes. But so the thing that doesn't come across, although they talked about it a lot on the telly, was the wind. And I think Saints dealt with it better. I don't know whether the Bath experience taught them how to deal with it or what, or the fact that they train in a wind tunnel. But Sale, who play, I believe, at the CorpAcq Stadium every other week, seemed somewhat surprised by the wind. So, Rafi Quirk kicking it out on the full, George Ford, the normally secure George Ford kicking it out on the full. But it was swirling. So it was doing one of those, it couldn't make up its mind which way it wanted to blow. Game. And I think with one exception, we managed it better. The exception is Hutch throwing huge passes. Now, you'd have thought after the first one, oh, that's the wind, isn't it? No, let's have another go. And then Josh Kemeny's like, seriously, mate? I'm getting bored out here. And so we stopped that in the second half. Hutch stopped trying to fling the 20, 30 metre passes, and things improved. But generally, I thought we dealt with the wind a lot better than Sale. But it did have an impact on the game. Because they rely on their kicking game.
Yeah.
Much more than we do.
Or do you think? I think that one of the main differences in this team, this Saints team, is our ability to learn from our mistakes so quickly and adjust our game plan on the hoof, as it were, which has been the criticism in the past of we had plan A and we didn't have a plan B, or if we did, we didn't know what it was. Whereas this team seems to be able to go, all right, that really isn't working. Let's switch what we're doing on the whole. The
example of that is the line out. So there were two things about the line out. One, Colsey was having fun nicking ball. I mean, Jabulu will not want to see Alex Coles again because he was just nicking ball for fun. And both Robbie and Craig, more of Craig shortly. Robbie and Craig, I thought, were much more secure in the line-out. We weren't asking them to do ridiculous throws. There was some some of the long throws we were asking them to do in conditions that really didn't work.
Yeah.
I think that we were, but I think the big difference is we had Josh in the line-out. He's such. He and Colsey are so secure in the line-out that makes a massive difference. So and
they were saying on TNT about our 40%, and when we get in the red zone, 40% of the time we score, and they were saying we are top of the attack stats for just about everything. So I don't know what our line-out stats may have fallen a bit because we did have a nightmare somewhere, but that wasn't.
We had a nightmare. We had a nightmare in
Bordeaux. Yeah, as I was working my brain through that, I went, oh, but that wasn't the Prem, so that will not influence those stats.
Yes,
so
we had a nightmare in Bordeaux, and we weren't particularly secure against Quins either. I think it was a bit ropey against Quins.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Whereas, ironically, in Bath, we were very secure, and Chunya was nicking ball for fun. So
yeah.
But I think your thing that we are problem solving on the hoof, as it were, absolutely. We are the team are working stuff out really, really fast.
Really fast.
Yeah.
And not just working out that that's going wrong, because that's quite, but it's also then how we fix it.
Yeah, what do we do about it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a surprise because so our midfield, when the team was announced, you got very excited about Dingers and Hutch being back.
I did. Dingers and Hutch, Dingers and Hutch, Dingers and Hutch, Dingers and
Hutch. Our midfield was creating stuff. Massey White and Rob Duprea, as if they had never met each other. They're two boss merchants. George Ford just cut a frustrated figure, and I don't know what Rafi Quirk was on. Anyway, so the spine of the team for us works. You know, you've got Mitch, you've got Tone, you've got Dingers and Hutch. It just all works. Whereas I hate to say it, the Sale guys just did not look cohesive. It did not look as though So it wasn't a surprise to me when Mitch in effect put Fremo away for the first try. It was absolutely what was.
I felt at times we were sloppy and loose. I think was my description. That we just seemed to be a bit bleh at times, but we got it together. We sorted it out, and our sloppy and loose is not as bad as they're disconnected.
So I'm going to be slightly different. I think we started well. I think the scrum was going well. I think the line-out was going well.
Oh, the scrum! The scrum!
To go
scrum and the line-out
wasn't
fine.
A surprise. And then we went a bit sort of loosey-goosey all over the show.
Sloppy and loose. That was when we went sloppy and loose.
That's when we went. So 14-0 up, we decided. And so by half-time, in the middle of the Tom Curry yellow card, the Tom Curry yellow card. No, that was definitely a yellow, and you're going to have to see the state of Josh's face to know that the point of the shoulder did its job. I was a bit cross because whoever the back chap was, and I don't know who it was because it's in the middle of the field.
I think it was Mitch.
It could have been Mitch. It could have been TP. It could have, whoever it was that Anthony Wood thought. Effectively, we go into the half-time 14-10 up, at 10-14 up, and it should have been. I mean, poor old Freeman. That was a gorgeous break where Hutch passed out. If that
stuck.
Oh, that back pass out the back from Hutch was just delicious.
Yeah.
And if Fremo had remembered to put his hands back on, yeah. But anyway, so I was slightly irritated, say the least, as I trotted up the other end. But optimistic, really optimistic that if we
optimistic, to be honest,
cut out the errors, then
I did say to my IT department, who was his usual cheerful self, we haven't won since 2017. And I went, no, we can. If anybody can do it, this team can do it. You didn't think we could win at Bath, and look what happened. So
exactly.
So I was quietly optimistic.
So I was optimistic, but a bit frustrated. I think would be my way of describing it.
On the plus side, the scrum. Can we just mention the scrum? Because that, as the daughter of a prop, that was just joyous to behold. Big Trev, bring it on. Coming in, bonny lad. I think he possibly said that sort of thing. And Bevan Rod was just being folded whichever way.
And Big just looked cross all the time. The theme, I would say, of the Sale team is they just looked angry at the situation. It was really weird. It's like, come on, guys.
Very, very strange.
So very odd. Very, very odd. Trev was living his best life. Trev was living his best life. Manny was
just being Manny, as we've come to know and love.
And we'll talk about the replacement front row in a bit. So second half, I'm like, come on. Come on, gird your loins and get on with it. So what do? We give a try away. With one of the worst restarts ever. It's like,
right from the start. Sloppy and loose, just dreadful.
Sloppy and loose. Right. Oh, come on. You're better than that, as a certain Chris Sutton. says on a football show. So here we go. But what do? We hit back, and we hit back hard. And that interplay between Colsey to Callumshick to Mitch, and there, at last, on the wings, steaming in, Josh Kemeny to score. Oh, I enjoyed that. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. But what do we do again? I mean, to be fair on Sale, their plot of give it to O'Flaherty works.
Yeah, it works every time.
Yeah, it works every time. So back we had to come again. And this time, if I get I'm probably going to get the order wrong. But frankly, I don't care. But the second delicious try was when Ferbs came on. Oh, we did have comedy moment, which was actually brilliant on Mitch's part, because it would have given a 5-metre scrum and they would have tried to push us over. It was when Mitch went chasing after the ball and ended up in his in-goal area and passed it to Hendy, and you can't...
Oh, yes.
There's no forward pass in the in-goal area. Hendo goes on one of his runs and actually gets it back out. And, we ended up...
Yeah.
So I think it was the right move. But anyway, the next try comes from, I believe, a break. So the kicking game doesn't quite work again, because Mitch ends up with it and he decides to run it back. And by this time, the original Sergeant Wilson, Ferbs, is on the pitch.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. We saw what we've been missing. That pass from Mitch to Ferbs, the break through the middle, and Aaron Reid realises, much to his horror, oh, my God. Off goes Edo to score.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Ferbs so reminds me of Ben Foden. You know, Foden
used to be able to the Ben Fodens about him.
Just glide through defences. And I remember asking whether Fodes could sort of dislocate his hips so that they moved in completely different direction to his shoulders or something.
Yeah.
So and I think they're both deceptively fast, which is what catches people unawares, because they run with such seemingly little effort, and so nobody expects them to be as fast as they are, and their eye for space, both of them, and it was just brilliant. So Ferbs, just lovely to have you back.
Well, we don't know what's going on, so let's not,
let's not get sad.
No, let's enjoy him whilst he's there, because he did the job. He absolutely did.
He did indeed. Brought another element to the backs.
I've got no idea in terms of try order, and I'm not going to try, but I am going to congratulate Robbie Smith on scoring the world's slowest try.
Yeah.
Under a pile of bodies, and all I saw was little Robbie's face appear grinning.
That's pretty much. Yeah, I'm not sure how the ref saw that one, but we're not going to complain.
Yeah. And then we swapped out the front rows, so they'd done their job. It was about 50 minutes when we swapped them out. So on comes Danilo, Craig Wright, and Elliot, and it was bob on. Definitely the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And
didn't miss anything.
The interplay between Elliot and Danilo is becoming a feature now.
Yes,
they know each other really, really well. It's it's brilliant to see. There was a moment where we when Big Trev went on a trundle straight at me. It's like, Trev, you boy.
Yeah.
But then I got the same.
Have you done?
I got the same with Danilo when he just would not go down. Whatever the shot, he just kept on going, spinning like a top. It was great to see, and happy birthday, Danilo. It's his birthday today.
Yeah, happy. But he is tremendous fun to watch. He's like a fizzing bottle of pop, which you don't often see in a prop, do you? But he's just, you never know what he's going to do. So much fun. And Elliot seems to have caught a bit of the joie de vivre, or the dolce vita, shall we say?
Elliot, yes. And Craig Wright, his arrows were secure. So he'd had a bit of a wobble, but his arrows were absolutely secure. Now, I did have a chat with Craig about his hair because it was a bit severe. We went a bit mad. And so I have never said this to a player ever, but I suggested that we need his mullet back. And he... because it's like a lion's mane when he's running.
Yes.
Yeah. So he looks, and he said, "Don't worry, Claire, it's coming back." So good.
Jolly good.
Photographer's dream. The mullet in full flight. So I was really pleased for Craig because he played brilliantly and he was his usual aggressive, ebullient self. So it was great to see. And as many times but it was still very close. It was still very close. Yeah. And I think we only pulled away in the end when Colsey scored.
Yeah.
And then
they unleashed the Pollock.
They unleashed the Pollock, and we had a bit of fun and games as they tried to rip his head off. In my usual way, about 4 minutes before the end of the game, 3-4 minutes before the end of the game, moved up through past my favourite cameraman, Joss, on the corner. If he's in any other corner, it discombobulates me. But he was in his right corner this week, and so I was walking up the pitch as I saw just the break, Henry. And then Fremo kicked the ball, and I thought, I know what's about to happen. And there he went, and I thought, typical, bloody typical. Yes, he hurtled down the pitch to score. And to be fair, on the Sale crowd, they did applaud him. They did applaud him. Yeah. They applaud that little stroke of genius. They weren't very happy with their team. What I would also say is after the end of the game, there were a lot of kids. Yes, they might have been wearing Sale Sharks shirts and fleeces, but they'd all got Henry signs.
I have never seen anything like this. Never in all my decades of watching rugby to see one player having this much effect on the game.
It is extraordinary, isn't it?
Absolutely extraordinary. I mean, there was the Johnny Wilkinson effect, but I suppose because Johnny was such an introverted personality, you didn't quite get that the same. But it's just Henry's just love of life and everything it's a joy. It's a joy. It's exactly what the game needs. Really is.
It really is, and and I think in the end the scoreline did rather flatter us because they got the apart from the try bonus point, which well done them for scoring 4 tries, a bit like how we felt in Bordeaux. But not much for consolation given the rest of their season. That final try just seemed almost cruel, but it was a thing of beauty. And little Thatchfon learned the laws of the game. It's only when you try and put the ball up that you're at.
Yeah.
So your role as referee, I've been saying for years, could you stand down on that one? I think you finally proved.
To me, it's fairly obscure law, to be honest, but and I think there's some referees that don't know it. From what
there was some discussion by Anthony Woodthorpe and his refereeing team over whether But
could you not hear the TMO flicking through the law book? Hang on, yes, found it. Here we go.
But well done, Fremo, for lovely little
super beautiful.
Yeah, it was absolutely super.
Work try.
Yeah, so so amazing, absolutely amazing. Now the celebrations in the changing room were should we have a quick look for those of you on Spotify? Let's have a quick look.
People are bored.
They're all looking very happy. You can see everybody's looking happy, and it was lovely to see. And now, who was on the Shoe Army song bin?
Who was on the bin?
Well, there's one obvious one. Player of the match.
I'm sorry. I've just caught glimpse of the far right of that picture.
I was trying not to show too much of Danilo's pants, which were something special. Yes.
It's quite a lot of pantage there. Anyway.
Yes, yeah, well, yes. But the man in the hat in the front of the frame is James Craig, Trammer. And
yes.
Why is Trammer on the bin? The reason that Trammer is on the bin is because he played in 2017, which is the last time we won in the Premiership. So there we go. There we go. Now, this is cruel, Mr. Callum. Who is he pointing at? He's pointing at Manny.
Manny.
There's a bit of a pee take going on there.
Nobody went too soon in this Shoe Army song.
No, this Shoe Army song was perfect. And just to confirm, here you go. There it is, Trammer on the bin.
On the bin.
There we go.
Somebody could have given him a boot. I felt.
Well, you have to take your own shoes off. That's the rule. Somehow, Jacko Pienaar is still wearing 2 pairs of shoes, but he's nicked somebody else's.
Well, that's somebody. Yeah, it's whoever's. It's Danilo's other one.
It's Danilo's trainer, isn't it? Because he hasn't taken his shoe off.
Yeah.
So there you go. So the Shoe Army song, as you can imagine, was sung with gusto. The first time it's been sung at the CorpAcq Stadium, because we haven't won since 2017. In fact, we hadn't won since 2018, the Anglo-Welsh Cup, but they weren't counting that one. In the Prem, it was 2017. So, but it's been a long time, and we've had some close run-ins with them at that stadium, and it's ever-changing now. So I think Dowse was particularly pleased with the performance. Yes, so we went home down the M6, happy campers.
All happy.
Yeah,
happy campers,
and got back to Cambridgeshire remarkably quickly. There was very little traffic on the road, which I was eternally grateful for, because it was nice to get home, and we watched the match again before we went to bed. So
player of the match then.
Player of the match. Well, my vote, and there are some honourable mentions. So honourable mention, we have to go for the winner last week, of course. In fact, all of the front row, including the winner, Manny. I thought the front rows were outstanding. Mitch was Mitch, and generally brilliant. But the player for me, partly because of his resilience, would be Josh Kemeny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Josh was just absolutely everywhere. Secure for me, and I should also mention Colsey. Colsey was a menace. He was annoying them, and that was exactly what was needed. So Colsey did a really, really good job on them. But Josh was absolutely outstanding. Really, really good. So
for me, it was a toss-up between Mitch and Josh, and I watched it, and no, Josh has just edged it. We are so lucky. Yeah. Oh, and Mitch. I mean, we're lucky with Mitch as well.
We are lucky with Mitch. And Archie was probably cutting a frustrating figure on the bench because he didn't come on. But he will be needed in the next few weeks. So don't worry, Archie. We love you. We love you.
Yeah.
And
Sergeant Wilson.
Well, we have to have a shout out for our peacemaker, because
Danilo.
Danilo. There he is again. Yeah, there we go. For those of you on Spotify, I'm showing the remarkable sight of our troublemaker, our Italian troublemaker, actually acting as peacemaker. So we have to give a shout out to him. Mitch, you're never going to win it. Shut up.
No, ever. The minute if you do any positive engagement with the referee, you can guarantee about 20 minutes later he'll
do something stupid.
Thought very loudly what you actually think of him. Yeah.
The winner has to be Dingers, and it's for the second week running he rescued his team from the referee.
The ref from his team, one way or the other.
Ably sported, I have to say, by Ferbs. Ferbs was part of the
well, you've got two. You'd actually got
Sergeant
three
Wilson
Sergeant
acting in music, but it was he only uttered one word, Hutch, and then Hutch realised. Perhaps I would shut up at this point.
Yes. Oops. I think he probably said it in a way. It's the way you say it.
It's the way you say it. I'll see if I can. Let's see a photograph of this moment, because it is worth seeing. Because Dingers was having to work particularly hard. I thought. There we go.
This was in reaction. This was Hutch's reaction to Henry having their attempts to rip Henry's head off for the second time.
Well, yes, and then Dugdale basically got hold of Hutch.
Yeah.
And
was this when the fracas broke out big time? And,
this is the big
and Marcy
time.
White were having a strange dance all of their own, and
that's it. So here we are. A somewhat incandescent. He was very, very cross.
Very cross.
Very, very cross. As he makes his case to Sir. But yeah, Dingers rescued him. Just one word, Hutch, and that was it. Okay, I'm leaving now. But see, ably supported by Ferbs.
Yeah. That's a double Sergeant Wilson going on.
A double Sergeant Wilson, but I think Dingers led his team beautifully, and I think he's definitely Sergeant Wilson again this week.
Again.
So, now we do need to do. Let's do a quick media watch before we talk about the third.
Yes,
team.
well, we're still on that.
Well,
so pertinent to the north.
I heartily recommend, and I think you do too, Liz. Anybody who wants to understand our director of rugby,
my goodness me,
watch or listen to last week's The Good, the Bad, and the Rugby, because if ever you wanted to understand how much we are lucky, how much the guy works to have Phil Dowson as director of rugby, watch that. It is a brilliant podcast, and Dowse does so well. He just comes over as a brilliant leader, and so it's a really interesting watch. So really recommend it.
And actually, anybody who's in management, doing management training or anything like that, from that point of view, it's a fascinating discourse of learning from your mistakes as a manager.
I did like it that the only advice he got from Danny, his wife, was don't get cancelled.
Yeah. Yes.
We'll just leave that one to ask. And then the second one is, whilst I was in, we went up on Friday for various reasons. This is a stunner, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. This is a stunner. Frankly shocking. So my IT department and I went to Liverpool on Friday and stayed at a hotel in Worsley, which is not far from the ground in Manchester. I was doing some photography, a different sort of photography. And so we flicked on BBC Look Northwest, the equivalent of our Look East. Much to our surprise. Now, just think of the sporting teams in the northwest of England, ladies and gentlemen. Just have a think, Liverpool,
quite a lot.
Everton, Manchester United, not Tranmere, you name it, A feature about Sale playing us
before the game. A feature. Not just a mensch. Not just a quick. Oh,
about
and
how important the fixture was. Yeah. Look East. Learn.
Yeah, well.
There you go. We were somewhat shocked.
Not you, James. We know you try your hardest.
More James Burridge on Look East, please. Yeah. If Look Northwest can do it with a number of football teams that they've got in their area, why can't Look East do it?
Because trampolining in Essex is so important. For goodness sake, get your priorities right.
And to the man that runs the pub outside Goodison, which has had to close because, of course, they moved.
Sad story.
It's really sad. He seems such a nice guy, and it was a beautiful pub as well. So yes. So this weekend, the wheelchair rugby guys were playing in a sort of development event, and well done. Lots of youngsters getting lots of game time. And it sounds like they've learnt absolutely bucket loads. They won 2, they lost 2. But, well done to Jamie and his coaches for bringing yet another batch of youngsters through. Shout out.
Oh, poor old Mike.
So Mike Nixon and his lovely wife Marie, by the way. Mike is in hospital again with an infection. He's got... he wants to, if anyone wants to trade with him his body, he's well up for it because he's a bit fed up. So we're sending you all our Ladies Wot Pod love, Mike, because
healing vibes,
vibes, because Mike is just the loveliest bloke. He does so much for disability sport, but also he does so much for his industry, which because he is a farmer. And he does a lot of work supporting farming, and particularly those farmers who are disabled. So, top work, Mike. Get better soon. You have all our love.
Soon.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Tell that body of yours to behave itself. And we need to hear more about your sheep news and chicken news, Marie.
Yeah, we do. We do. We'll take sheep news from anywhere.
Well, exactly.
Talking of which, it's only a couple of weeks till lambing, isn't it?
Yeah. No, we should get proper Kev Buckby sheep news. Yeah, he was looking very jolly on Saturday. Well, they all were. So Walking Rugby, and there's a special milestone, isn't there?
Yes, my IT department made his 50th session. I was going to say appearance. That makes it sound far more important than it is. You don't get caps. You get applauded off. You get.
That's lovely. Sweet.
Yeah. So well done. Well done. I wasn't there. I was having my hair done.
Oh, right.
So I got my priorities right. You see. And next week we are apparently hosting Brackley, I think he said, because their pitch is waterlogged. So they
excellent. Excellent. Yes, we're hosting them. My IT department was well up for I think partly celebrating the success of the victory in Salford. But his Walking Rugby didn't happen. There weren't enough players this week, so he was a bit crestful. He went for a pedal on his bike instead. His bike in the garage. He's got one of those apps that you pretend to cycle. Well, no, you actually cycle. You just don't go anywhere.
You do. You pretend to be cycling in the Alps or somewhere. But
it was somewhere in France. No, I think he did a training run on yesterday, and then he's going to do the Alps tomorrow.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Why not?
Right.
So Toes, Minis and Juniors, they were hoping to play, but then overnight rain on Saturday left standing water that a small child could drown in. So they didn't play either.
No, we don't want to drown.
I think quite a lot of the junior clubs across the country are struggling with the conditions at the moment. So let's hope they dry up a bit. Not sure, but it happens. It's the joy of a winter sport, isn't it?
Yes. So it's a weird couple of months ahead of us, of course. The Six Nations for the senior team and the under-20s get underway. So we are going to lose. We worked out, Liz, 18 players.
18 players.
Yeah, 18 players to both Six Nations competitions. It's testament to the coaches that we have so many players involved. I was so chuffed for Big Trev and Manny that they're going to get their chance. 8 players in the main 12. It would have been 9. And I'm sure it will be 9 when Finn sorts out his calf. He's
with the squad doing rehab.
Yeah, he's doing his rehab. So yeah. So
ladies and gentlemen, he's still in the wider squad. He's not been ditched, but his
leg hasn't fallen off. He's still with us.
Yeah.
Yes. So well done to everybody concerned. What it means for the Saints is that we go into the Premiership Rugby Cup, and you and I are very excited about this, aren't we? Because we're going to see a lot of youngsters get some game time, and a lot of chance for some of the more senior players to play. Step up into leadership roles will help their development as well. So the Premiership Rugby Cup is back this weekend, and it's an East Midlands derby at the Gardens.
And I'm not there. Not there.
Again.
I know. Absolute lightweight.
I am there. I'm not doing training this week. I'm having a week off because I've got loads of other photography projects I want to get done this week. One of which I need to disappear very shortly and go and buy some cinnamon buns. Chelsea buns. Fitzbilly's Chelsea buns are on the menu. I'll be taking photographs of them shortly for my latest piece of photography homework.
Chelsea buns or cinnamon buns, very different.
Oh, I can't remember what do Fitzbilly's call their
I don't know.
Their legendary cinnamon bun-alike. Anyway, the thing that Fitzbilly's in Cambridge are famous for, I've got to go and buy a couple, and then I'm going to take photographs of them, and then we're going to eat them.
Yeah, okay.
For those of you that were asking, I have mentioned it on my Facebook. I will be putting photographs of the cathedrals. So I'm collecting cathedrals. People collect stamps. I'm collecting cathedrals. So far, I have taken photographs of 3 because the Metropolitan Cathedral in Liverpool doesn't count because it's a Catholic one. And I want to take photographs of all 40-odd Church of England cathedrals in England. So I will be putting those on at Claire Jones Cambridge, which is my other Instagram account for my landscape and travel photography. So that'll be happening this week. But yes, so I'm not doing training this week. I'm having a week off to fart ass with buns and cathedrals photos. But I will be at the game. I will be at the game.
I won't be because I'm going up to the Peak District.
And then we get a week off, or we don't get a week off. I'm hoping to shoot the England under-20s match.
Yeah. We've got our tickets for that. I'm going to that.
Yeah. If not, I will be watching the England under-20s match, because if I have to register with the RFU and stand on one leg with the rose between my teeth, I'm not doing it because it's just too hard. So I'll go and sit in the stands. Which will be news to Sherpa too, because he's hoping that I'll be at Ampthill. For once, I'm going to not be shooting Bedford Blues. I'm coming up for my 50th game for Bedford.
Yeah, well, you should get at least applauded off the pitch.
Rocks thrown at me. Boots thrown at me. Yes, so it's been a fabulous weekend. Saints are still top of the league, and Bedford are second, so well into the playoffs. So it's all looking good for our teams that we know and love. And what is going on? There are so many teams where you just wonder what the hell's going on. I felt really sorry for Gloucester. Quinns, they win in La Rochelle and then they play like left-handed yak drivers. To the supporters of those teams, big hugs. I mean, you don't like to see teams suffering that way. It's just
and poor old Newcastle as well, getting absolutely slaughtered at the Stonex.
Yeah, having taken the lead. That must have. Yeah. Oh, there's a big change, isn't there? There's a.
I don't know. Could you give me more clues?
Mark McCall.
Oh, yeah, we didn't mention that.
No, Mark McCall.
Change. It's just like, it's like sliding doors with those two, though, isn't it? They're just.
And then Brendan Venter, Dr. Death is back, and
God.
And that terrible interview that he gave.
Oh, Well, I was seriously worried for his mental health. I thought that was a man and a weird man.
Yeah. So Brendan Venter being back is going to be some fun He's
interesting.
He's
interesting. All the comments about Mark McCauley. Well, he won us so much. Bugger all, since you've had to compete under the salary cap, though. Just saying.
Well, no, they did win it once. To be fair.
No, well, I think there was still shenanigans going on then.
We did wonder how they kept the team together, but yes.
Completely, yeah.
Yes, and Clubber Rugby. Seriously, guys, there were a couple. So they put a post up on Instagram. I think they've got a Facebook page as well. They put a post up on Instagram, which was players that have played Championship Rugby that will be involved in this Six Nations. Well, there were quite a few they missed, like Dingers at Cambridge. But the one where they were rather stretching the point was Maritoji Ben Earl. No, it wasn't Ben Earl. Elliot Daly and Maritoji, and might be Jamie George. Yeah, it was Jamie George. At Saracens, whilst they were in the Championship. They were all internationals. Oh, they were in the Championship.
Oh, that's ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just come on, guys. Seriously? Yeah. No. Yeah, no. We're not having that. We're not having that.
How many games did they actually play?
Well, I remember there was a big thing when Marrow finally played, because he didn't play in the first few. Because remember, they lost at Pirates, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because I remember we were at Coventry. Bedford were playing at Coventry, and the cheer that went up in the stands when the result came up. Bear in mind, it was during COVID, so there weren't that many people. That was when the dog walkers at the Butts Park Arena, dogs were getting walked back. But the cheer that went up from the coaches and other people involved in that game when the news came through from Cornish Pirates was quite funny. So anyway,
right. Well, that's it. I think
that was.
Will the horses be happy?
Well, if they're not, they're ingrates, because it's 1 hour and 7 minutes and a bit. So,
they'll have to play cards for the remaining 3 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was episode 27, series 2, Ladies Wot Pod. Thank you all for listening, watching, whatever you're doing.
Well done, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Now what? Oh.
God.